Hi, I'm Bill Corcoran Jr. This is the On the Stacks podcast.
Oh yeah, whoa, look, they can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up.
Pull up a chair and join me as we journey through the life of musician Jimmy Stranger. In this episode, Jimmy opens up about the painful chapter of his life in 2004, marked by the brutal murder of his high school sweetheart, Carrie Lynn Martin, and the subsequent loss of his father that sent him in a downward spiral of addiction and hopelessness. Oftentimes, our society judges a book by its cover, and Jimmy is no stranger to prejudice given his tattoos and appearance. He shares how people's perception of him, based solely on his appearance, made him a living cliché, and how getting to know someone on a deeper level can shift these preconceived notions. We also talk about the journey of self-expression as an artist, finding your purpose, and making money as a full-time musician. This episode would not be possible without the support of our sponsors, so please check them out in the show notes. I'm your host, Bill Corcoran Jr., and this is Jimmy Stranger on the Stacks.
I went to work right around Memorial Day weekend, and then my boss comes over and says that there's cops that want to talk to me. The cop calls me over and he said my name, and he goes, "James Burge, is Carrie Martin your girlfriend?" I'm like, "Yes." He just looks me right in the face and he's like, "She's been murdered." 16 ounces, 24 bottles, won't kill your memory. But it killed me. After that moment, life wasn't the same. The Jimmy Burge I was gone. That kid I was, that happy-go-lucky, smiling, with a life ahead of me, was gone. 2 weeks later, my dad, who was my rock at this time, he had a massive heart attack on the floor and he passed away.
How did you deal with it?
I've ran from everything. I tried to find the answer in the bottom of a bottle. You know, I got hooked on Oxycontin, on Percocets. I was a mess. It just felt like a bottomless pit. That's where all the tattoos came in.
All of them?
All of them. They go from my face. I mean, everybody thought I was nuts. But that one's special to me because it's believe. That one was more or less, every time I look in the mirror, it's just believe, Jimmy. And you always believe because you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So just believe. Because what I'm doing now and where I was before, it's a dream, man. Like, believe. Because if I could come back through this, anybody could.
This episode is brought to you by Sweat Tent, the pioneers of the portable wood-burning sauna. Did you know that using the sauna 3 to 4 times per week could reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease by up to 50% and make you 60% less likely to experience Alzheimer's disease? That's why I've been a big fan of the sauna for years. But having to go to a crowded gym to do it isn't ideal. And all the at-home options are bulky and expensive. That's why I only use the Sweat Tent for my sauna needs. It's the most storable and affordable wood-burning sauna on the market. It not only takes minutes to set up, but it can reach 200 degrees Fahrenheit in 30 minutes or less. So whether you're enjoying it yourself in your backyard, with friends, or in need of a reliable sauna on the go, Sweat Tent is your best choice for the most portable, storable, and enjoyable outdoor sauna experience. All On The Stacks listeners will receive $100 off when you use code OTS. Visit sweattent.com today to get $100 off your purchase with code OTS at checkout. Again, that's sweattent.com to get $100 off with code OTS. Sweat Tent, helping you fire up your home wellness routine. This episode is brought to you by Burn, the fitness company behind the Today Show approved Burn board. If I'm being honest, working out can be a real chore, especially as a new dad in desperate need of sleep and cardio. Burn is founded by NEPA native Jimmy T. Martin, and his Burn board offers a low-impact core and cardio experience unlike anything I've done before. They have hundreds of on-demand workouts that are great for beginners, seasoned athletes, and out-of-shape podcast hosts who love supporting small businesses. My wife and I use it pretty frequently throughout the week, and it's honestly a great way to burn a ton of calories without burning a ton of cash. Not to mention, it's a great tool for skiers, runners, wrestlers, and hockey players. Jimmy is offering all On The Stacks listeners 15% off when they use the code STACKS15. Visit theburn.com today to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15 at checkout. Again, that's theburn, THEBRRN.com to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15. It's time to get on board today with Burn. This episode is brought to you by Kavanaugh's Grill, one of my favorite places to eat and drink in NEPA. They've got one of the best outdoor patios with 13 TVs and over 20 beers on tap. You can also dine inside at this cozy Irish-style pub where your beer never goes empty. Did I mention how delicious their food is? Their in-house smoked brisket, barbecue ribs, and wings are to die for. So grab your friends and have a drink on me at Kavanaugh's. Mention code STACKS for one free draft beer with purchase of any entree when you dine in. Located at 163 North Main Street in Mountaintop, Kavanaugh's is open at 4 p.m. during the week and 12 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday during football season. Dine in today at Mountaintop's only Irish-style pub. What's up, podcast? It's your host, Bill Corcoran Jr., here in the Blue Door Studio, protected by our friends at Ritchie Security Solutions. Jimmy Stranger, welcome to the On the Stacks podcast. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you. This is called 16 Ounces. Standing alone in bed, all by myself. I was chasing a dream again, a dream that was someone else. I don't know what you want me to do, I just can't get up. After everything I've been through, it's hard standing up, because 16 ounces, 24 bottles ain't enough for me. 16 ounces, 24 bottles won't kill your memory. I was hanging out with a friend. He asked me if I was alright. I looked him right in the eye. It almost started a fight. Oh, I don't know what he wants me to say. He's never felt like this. I don't know what he wants me to do. I can't get over this, because 16 ounces, 24 bottles ain't enough for me. 16 ounces, 24 bottles won't kill your memory. I was driving home again, probably the last time. Our song came on the radio, it blew my fucking mind. I looked down at the steering wheel and I just shook my head. I looked up at the rear view, said they're not gonna get me, no, not this time. 16 ounces, 24 bottles ain't enough for me. 16 ounces, 24 bottles won't kill your memory. But it killed me. Yeah, those 16 ounces.
Brother.
Thank you.
That was incredible, dude.
Thank you, brother.
That was a great opening to the show, by the way.
I appreciate it.
We never have an opening like that. So That was I still like have like the chills a little bit.
Appreciate it.
And I think you're like ready to rock and roll now,
Ready to go.
You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Feeling good?
Feeling good.
How good do you feel?
Feel good.
Do you?
Yeah.
You look good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for that, for playing that. That's a Jimmy Stranger original.
Yeah. And it takes a lot out of me to do it. That's why I'm breathing heavy and stuff, because it's a lot of motion in that song.
Yeah. So what when did you write that song?
I wrote that song 2004. I wrote that song. I was hanging out at my house, and my buddy came over, and we just went through stuff, which we'll get to, and he brought a case of beer in, and he goes, "Man, we're gonna forget about tonight." And it was 16 ounces. When those what are they? The aluminum bottles first came out. So there were 16 ounce cans, 24 bottles, and that's where the song came from. I said 16 ounces and 24 bottles ain't enough for me. And hence came the song.
Okay.
So that's the backstory to that song, and it just came into that. I just put everything that I was going through at the time into it, And at the time, I was having a hard time living, like living life in general. So that's why at the end I ended it that way. It started as a heavy rock song, and it's transitioned through the years to where it's at now. So,
how old were you?
I was 19.
19. Wow. So was this? So had you've been playing music obviously long before this though too?
My entire life, yeah.
Right? Have you written your own music, originals before that?
I have a lot of originals that people don't even know about because.
Yeah, what the hell, man? We gotta get this music out.
When I went out to play, I was always told your own music don't make you money, and if you want to make money like in the local music scene and stuff, like you play other people's music, because that's what people come out to see. So, and that's what I always did, like I was playing other people's tunes because I thought nobody's gonna come hear mine. So. And as time went on, I have some songs that people remember and they ask for, but I have a lot more songs that people realize. But yeah,
Wow.
If you want to make money in this business on the bottom end, you got to play other people's music. So that's what I do. And eventually, like now, little by little, we're getting those originals out there. I get to be Jimmy Stranger and not Jimmy Stranger acting like Aaron Lewis or somebody like that.
Yeah. And we got the original here. We'll give you a full copy of that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do whatever you want with it.
Right.
But it was cool, man. It was cool to see in action.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and a lot of I could as you're seeing singing, I could see the emotion in your face, and kind of like you said right when you finished, it takes a lot out of you, and I could see that. Not only hear it, right, but I could see it.
Right. It's just, that's how I play music, and even in playing shows, and like I said, I'm going back to playing other people's songs, is I put my heart and soul into everything. So those 3 hours that I'm playing at some local bar, you think you're just paying for Jimmy Stranger to play guitar. You're paying for all them years of pain, suffering, and all that I put behind that music. You know what I mean? That is different than a lot of people.
Yeah. And this is kind of like a weird question, but like, does a musician ever really truly reveal like what exactly the song means or all the meaning behind it, or do you like to leave it open for interpretation to the listener? I
like to leave it open for the listener. Like that song in particular, like that, I will tell you the story behind it and stuff like that, and they could take it, and if they have feelings for it, in their own mind, I appreciate that, because that's what music to me is about. It's not how I feel; it's about how I make other people feel. So, and if I can make somebody get in touch with their emotions or how they're feeling or just having a bad day, and I can play a song and go, oh my God, he relates to this. And yeah, I do. That's what I say I do. I do relate to it.
Yeah. Can you you said you would talk a little bit more about the meaning of that song?
Yes, I could talk about it.
Yeah, tell me.
So in 2004, 2003, we'll go back. So 2003, I graduated high school. And my high school sweetheart, Carrie Lynn Martin, and I will say her name because I love her to death. I still do. And after a year, we lived in my music room, I called it. But it was really just a garage outside the house. And I just got a job at Tryon, like the week before Memorial Day of 2004. And I went to work right around Memorial Day weekend. And I worked a night shift. And then my boss comes over and says that there's cops that want to talk to me, that somebody's breaking into the dumpsters. And I'm like, sure, like I have a cigarette out there, whatever. I never stole nothing. I packed hooks for fuck's sake. What the hell am I going to steal them for? Yeah. So I'm like, what anybody going to steal them for? Unless you're going to go sell them to Kmart on your own or something. But I just went outside, like they were just going to tell me I'm stealing out of the dumpsters. And the cop calls me over and he said my name. And he goes, James Burge, and Burge is my real last name. The strangers, we'll probably get into that in a little while, but
Yeah.
Burge is my real last name. So he goes over and he's like, James Burge, and I'm like, yeah. And he's like, is Carrie Martin your girlfriend? And I'm like, yes. And he goes, no other sense, no other thing. And he just looks me right in the face and he's like, she's been murdered. And my whole life stopped. That moment was, everything was gone. I went home that day, and this was after like they took me from work to the state police barracks, and I was questioned up and down. Was I a drug dealer? Was I this? Was I that? And I was nothing. I was just a 19-year-old kid. I just got a job because I went to high school to be a police officer, and I asked my dad if I could take a year off. Because I was that typical kid. I just want a year off not to do shit. I didn't want to go to school. I just wanted to hang out with my buddies, my girlfriend, do all that. And it was going great. And then, one fateful night, all that happened. And to this day, it's crazy. I lost track of where I was at, but.
The cops came, questioned you, they took you to the barracks.
Okay, the cops came, they questioned me, thank you.
Yeah.
They took me to the barracks. And like I said, they questioned me up and down. Was I this, that, the third? And I wasn't. I wasn't any of this. And I was like, what's going on? So they take me home, and I'm home, and we find out a day later. And I don't want to give these guys that did this any credit, so I'm not going to mention their names. But they found out who did it, the two men that did it. And they were not connected to me at all. Like, here they were just robbing people, and I guess somebody that knew me said that I had it, because it was called, like I called it, the music room. So I had a lot of music equipment. It looked very easy to get into. She was home. I guess they knocked on the door, and the rest of that, only they know,
So they came in to rob.
They did. And they did. They not only took her life, but they took like an Xbox. They took a DVD player. They stole her purse. Sometimes I don't remember all that, because the biggest thing to me is they took her, And after that moment, like, life wasn't the same, like the Jimmy Burge I was gone. That kid I was, that happy-go-lucky, smiling, with a life ahead of me, was gone. Like, I was just gone. And then not only that, like 2 weeks later, my dad, who was my rock at this time, he was with me at all times. Like, I'd be outside on the porch, just staring at this music room, because it was outside, and at the time we couldn't go in it because it was a crime scene. And he'd come out and he'd be like, come on, son. He's like, don't stare at it. Don't hurt yourself. You're only going to cause, you're not going in there. You're only doing yourself more damage by going in there. And on June 14th, he went to work. She passed away on May 28th. On June 14th, he went to work. He came home. And I forget what I was doing. Oh, he came in to the house and he's like, Jimmy, come outside with me. So I had to sign a birthday card for my grandmother. So for me and him. So I go out, we do that, and we come in, we had dinner, I'll never forget it. We had bread and gravy. I don't know if anybody ever had but he had this thing for KFC gravy and just bread and butter. And he just put the bread and gravy together.
Sounds delicious.
It is good. You have to try it.
Yeah.
So we had that for dinner. And about 7 o'clock that night, he got some ice cream. And then I'm sitting on the front porch and I'm playing guitar, because music has always been connected to me.
It's what you do.
Yeah, it is me. It's not what I do. It is me. And I hear him, he throws the ice cream. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And he had a massive heart attack on the floor, and he passed away 2 weeks later. After,
right there in front of you.
Right there in front of me. We called the ambulance, and I remember the neighbor coming over and saying, Jimmy, everything's going to be all right. He'll come home. And then I had to go and tell her, he's never come home. And that, I feel bad to this day for her, because she thought she was doing me good. She was a nice lady. She didn't know that this was really the end of him, at 53 years old. So, and all that happened so much at once that there was just so much after that I don't know.
Wow. Did you have anyone else around you at that time that you were able to, just be with?
I did. Luckily, I had, my grandmother. But back to losing my dad, this is my grandmother's son. She lost him on her birthday, so we were there for each other. I had my mom. God, I love my mom. My mom has been there through so much with me. And I had my friends that, sadly, I was friends with at the time. And sometimes, I'll talk to them once in a while, but we're not, as close as we were then. But I did have a good support system then at the time, to help me get through it and do the best I can. What do you say to somebody,
Yeah, what can you say?
Right. How are you going to tell them everything's going to be all right? So. And I don't know. I guess I dealt with it as long as I could. And
how did you deal with it?
In the beginning, how I dealt with it, and it might say it's drugs. Like, I ran from everything. I tried to find the answer in the bottom of the bottle. I got hooked on Oxycontin, on Percocets. And for a long time, I was a mess, and it wasn't because I was a mess. It was because I just didn't want to hurt no more. And that's where all these tattoos come from. And then I was never a cutter. Like people say they're cutters, but every time I got a tattoo, it was because I was going through something. And I didn't want to feel mental pain anymore. And I couldn't realize what was real and what was fake. So when I would get a tattoo, that's real pain. So, okay, I'm not dying. It's just, that's real pain. What I'm feeling is mental pain. And that would differentiate. So I got a lot of tattoos, that's a lot of pain, right? But
yeah.
And I would get them in like the most painful spots because I just wanted not to be in that mental pain anymore, or that hurt or that, that it just felt like a bottomless pit, man. And that's where all the tattoos came in was to help me deal with all of them.
All of them. So you had no tattoos prior to this?
None.
Zero.
Zero.
So yeah, I don't know you up until this point in my life, right. And obviously, I could probably count, 20 just by looking at you, right? I'm sure there's probably more.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more.
How many do you have?
I don't know.
Lost count.
Honestly, I don't know. They're on my head. They're like under my hair.
Really?
Oh yeah, they go from top to bottom. So.
Wow. So did you used to have a shaved head?
Yeah. Well, one time in my life I did.
Wow.
Now my hair's really long, but then it was shaved. But yeah, they go from my face. I mean, everybody thought I was nuts, but hey, the face is funny because when I wanted to get a tattoo on my face, like everybody said, no, don't do that. So what I did was I went and I got like fake tattoos. So I put a star here.
To try it out.
Yeah, I put a fake star there for like maybe a month to see if anybody would say anything. Did it look godly or whatever? And then after a while, when people got used to it, it was real.
People were just like, whatever, that's right. Jimmy.
So, and then when I went on to the other one above my eyebrow.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that one.
That one's special to me because it's belief. After all of this, that's when I got that. So that one wasn't really for the reason the other ones were for. That one was more or less every time I look in the mirror, it's just believe, Jimmy. Like believe. And it's right there, so I can't look away from it. And you always believe because you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So just believe. As long as you believe, you never know what could happen. And that's what me and my mom say to each other all the time. Believe, just believe. So that's where that comes in,
When did you get that one?
I got that one about 3 years ago.
So this is fresh.
This was coming out of the fire, yeah.
Okay.
This
is like a healing tattoo.
That one is, yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I've got to believe also.
Oh, really?
But it's not in English. Yeah,
That's cool.
I got one right here. It's in Italian.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I don't know. I've only got two. So I'm
out of one though. Like out of all mine, we have one.
Yeah, we have one in common, dude.
Right.
How wild is that? Cool. I couldn't, I think seeing pictures of you online, just on social media before you come in, I could obviously visibly see that you had at least, two tattoos on your face, but I don't know if I was able to read the believe until you walked in the door today.
Right.
And as soon as you walked in, I'm like, holy shit.
That's kind of my mantra, believe,
Yeah. I love it.
Because what I'm doing now and where I was before, it's a dream, man. Like, believe. Because if I could come back through this, and we'll probably talk about it more, as anybody could, Like, I was a mess, from even mental health on that situation. And it's just, you're stronger than you think. There's going to be times when you're sitting alone at night and you can't take it anymore, but you can't give in. You can't let the devil win, And I can't honestly tell you why I never did. It's just I always believed that I'm here for a reason. I have a talent. And at the time, like after that, I was wasting it. I was a rock star. I was out there trying to be Jimmy Rockstar, and I wasn't. I was a mess. I was a drunk. I was partying like a rock star, like without the sex, more just drugs and
without
drugs
the
and
sex.
booze,
Shit. Damn.
So it wasn't an exciting time. It was more or less just booze and drugs and playing music. And looking back on it, it's great that I'm here now. Like,
Yeah. So there was a long period of your life that you went through this.
Yes.
Right.
It was, you got to figure 2004 to maybe
Up until about 3 years.
about 2017, maybe 2018. Did it take me to start coming out of this funk?
So how did you? At what point did you say, or how did it come about that you're like, I need to fix me?
Actually, that came after I met my girlfriend Joy, that I met now.
Yeah. Shout out to Joy, by the way.
Right. Shout out to her, man. She's the biggest heart ever. Like, when I met her, I don't know, it was like 2021 we actually got together, but we were friends, you know. I was married, she was married, and never nothing ever more, but then I realized I was a piece of shit, you know. Like, when she did decide to be in a relationship with me down the road, I had to be better than I was. And, you know, she always stood by me even as a friend. And she never wavered. You know, a lot of people say they have your back and they'll stand by you, but not many people do. And she never turned her back on me. You know, no matter how drunk I was, or if she had to pick me up and throw me in a car to get me home, she was there. She might tell me she hates me and I'll never talk to you, but tomorrow morning she'll be there again, you know. So that was kind of when I opened my eyes and realized there is more to life. You know, there are great people out there. You know, people care about you. Because for the longest time I was stuck in this, everybody looked at me a certain way because of what I went through. And I had no meaning. Like, Jimmy didn't mean shit. I didn't mean shit.
Like, you felt like you had no purpose.
Right. I had no purpose. Like, I would play guitar and they'd be like, oh, you're so great. So what? So what? What's it matter? It doesn't matter to me. I was just waiting to die. And that's sad to say, but I wasn't suicidal, but I was the guy that if I walked off that curb, I didn't care if I got hit by a car. You know, I didn't care if I died, but I wouldn't take my own life. It was just, I didn't have no care. Like, when you don't have care, I didn't have a purpose. So, and by the grace of God, you know, you meet the right people. And I could honestly thank Joy again that, you know, she kind of made me see the light.
Wow. That's not oftentimes I'm left like speechless, you know. So you know, like you said kind of before, like when somebody goes through something like that, like what do you say to them? You know,
right.
Like what do you say? Yeah, I feel like there's not a lot that somebody can say, right. You know, and that's the place that you're in, and you know, it's scary. It's
scary because it's a do or die. It's like you either do or you don't, and you have to want it for yourself. Because if you don't want to like make yourself better, it's never gonna happen. You know, so many times I thought I was doing good, like, and I did. I worked, I had jobs, and that's another funny thing is I hope this music thing works out, because PTSD from cardboard, man. Those warehouses, that smell. But anyway.
Hope it doesn't smell like cardboard in here.
No, it doesn't. Okay. No, we're good.
Okay. All right.
But that, I always keep that in my mind. I'm going to keep pushing myself in music because that cardboard gives me PTSD. And the only thing other I'm good at is driving a forklift.
Okay.
So this guitar.
Just don't play music, don't play guitar and drive the forklift.
Right. We can't do both.
Yeah, can't do both.
I could hook the guitar on the back. And that's funny because I did. And I had this one job. I'd sit on the picnic table, like on breaks, and play guitar and stuff. So music's always been a big part of my life. And that's another thing I got to thank is music, because whenever I'm sad, down, I'm the guy that will put on the saddest song in the world and cry my eyes out for 4 hours. You know, and listen to the same song over and over and over. And
so I'm not the only one that does that listens to a song on repeat. My wife laughs at me. Because, you know, it's whether it's I discover a new song, or if I'm in a place like that where whether I need motivation, or if, you know, I'm feeling some type of way, emotion, whatever, high, low. Right. You know, like I find, you know, a song, right? And
that you can relate to.
Yeah. And I listen to it until I ruin it.
Right. You listen to it till you hate it.
Right, until you ruin it.
Till you never want to hear it again.
Right?
That's true. I do that with a lot of songs, because like you'll find that one song that relates to that one thing you're going through, or just maybe that song grabs you that way. Mm-hmm. And it's repeat. And that's what I would do. And even if it would hurt, I'd want it to hurt, you know, like, because I don't know, maybe being a musician, I wanted to know how he felt so I could play it, you know, or I don't know, but music has helped me out a lot. But, you know, everybody says being a musician, I'm not a duck. So I guess I am, but music's helped a lot. Yeah.
Do you think people judge you based on your appearance?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If they don't know me, absolutely. I'm big. I'm 6'2", almost 350. You know, so when they see me, I'm like, what is that? Not a force, but I just stand out. You know, people like to judge because of all the tattoos, you know, and just like that. And I'm not anything that I look like. I'm really not. You know, if you got to know me, I'm two completely different people. I have a facade, I guess, that I wear that makes me look like a tough guy. Don't approach me. But then when you get to know me, I'm actually a really nice guy. And, you know, I'm nothing like all this would tell you I am.
Yeah,
you know,
like that says like maybe no emotion, like he's, you know, he's a tough guy, he's a badass. But
right. This just tells you, and I always use it as a thing that kept people away from me. You know, I guess it was like I didn't value myself. And so I didn't want to make friends. I had my friends, you know, so it kept people at bay because they're not going to come over and talk to me. But funny story is they do. And you know who does a lot? Old ladies. And not being rude or anything, but they'll always like, we'll be in an aisle at the store and they can't reach something. Like, will you get this? And they always talk to me. They find I don't know if they could read a soul, but I swear they can because old ladies never judge me. Put it that way. Isn't that weird?
That's very interesting. You would think that, you know, because of the older generation,
right? And
you would think, you know, that, you know,
but,
based on that they would be like, I'm not bothering with that guy.
Right, but they do. Like, you know, I'll be that one guy, and Joy laughs at me all the time because she's like, she really just asked you to grab that. Like, she could have asked me, but she came right over to you. I'm like, I guess I have that vibe, you know. And like I said, after my dad passed away, I lived with my grandmother, which was his mom. And I loved my gram. You know, my gram was my world. So was my mother. And I maybe I give that vibe off, you know, that like, I'm not evil. I'm not a bad guy. You know, I just been through a lot. And once you get to know me, I don't know. You take it for yourself, I guess, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah.
Wow. That's, you know, I always find it so interesting. Like, you know, I was never a tattoo guy, right? Like, I always said, like, oh, I'm probably never going to get tattoos, right? Not that I judged people previously that maybe had tattoos, but everybody has that same, like, probably preconceived notion, like, well, he's got tattoos. Like, nah, geez, like, I'm not you know, bothering with him, you know? Like, ugh, what's he all about, you know?
Right.
And it's like, you know,
stigma.
Right, yeah. And you look at somebody like you, right? And you look at somebody like me, and I'll say we look pretty opposite. Besides, we both have a cool backwards black hat, right?
You have to have that backwards hat.
You gotta have the backwards hat. But you know, you have a tattoo on your face that says "believe." I have one on my wrist that says "believe," and it's
we're more alike than they think.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you know, until somebody, you know, like can sit down and have a conversation with somebody like you, like this,
right?
You know, I feel like I can relate to anyone, and I feel like I have that same, you know, growing up as a kid. And my mom, she's watching, she's gonna laugh, but like growing up as a kid when we were always in the grocery store, a very similar thing. It was always, you know, I mean, I didn't have obviously tattoos or anything, but it was the same type of thing where people would approach and always like want to talk to you.
Right.
For something. Like, I feel like and my mom would always joke and say, like, what do we have, a sign like on my back or on my forehead that says like talk to me?
Right.
And it was all kinds of people, you know. Right. It was the wackos and it was normal
it's
people.
Weird how you say that because they say that to me a lot because I worked at a bar. Well, I've been in a lot of bars, but it always seems like the one guy that's going through like all that shit and has this problem wants to talk to me. It's like I give off this talk to me vibe, or I could listen to your story.
Yes.
And people sit there and talk, and I do listen. So I mean, and I don't judge. So I know what you mean. Like that person will find you, and
it's just like they'll basically tell you they'll tell you anything like that they, you know, anything they went through. Like, I mean, and it's so weird because like even right now, like literally sitting here right now with you, I'm doing that.
You are.
Like, you know, you're here talking about these things that you probably, you know, hardly ever talk about, or maybe some things you maybe have never really said publicly.
Right.
Maybe some people have never heard that song. Right. Like things like that. And, you know, I don't know. I'm grateful that, you know, I guess that like I have like that talent. Right. If you want to call it talent, I don't know, you know.
Right. It is, man.
But like we have that, you know, ability to just be able to talk to people and relate.
Right.
And it doesn't matter like what you look like.
Right. I mean, that's why this is cool to do too, because for people to know who I am. You know, they hear the name Jimmy Stranger around here all the time, and well, in the Valley anyway. Mm-hmm. And it's like, who the hell is that guy? Who the fuck is Jimmy Stranger? You know, and there I am, and then it's like, oh man, he plays metal music. We're not gonna listen, or something like. And then I play country, and then
they're like, oh, whoa, okay,
right? It's more of a country and a rock and a '90s rock. I love '90s rock and stuff like that I play. Like, do I like heavier music? Yeah, but when I play, I don't know. I want to be melodic. I like being melodic, and I like being heard and hearing those words clear. Or a good hook on a song. You know, it doesn't gotta be metal, and that's why I love country music, because you just could sing about anything, you know, like, and you put so much emotion into it, and it just, I don't know. To me, the clean guitar, that powerfulness means so much more.
Yeah. So growing up as a kid, was it always country music for you? On the Stacks will be back in a flash after a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Elevation Wellness, NEPA's premier wellness center located on Mundy Street in Wilkes-Barre. From pro athletes to busy parents, Elevation Wellness is leading the conversation when it comes to bettering your health through integrative medicine. Founded by NEPA native Louis Helmecke, Elevation Wellness offers physician-formulated and guided treatments that are administered by registered nurses. To learn more about how you can experience the benefits of IV vitamin therapy, multivitamin booster shots, non-invasive aesthetics, or peptide, NAD, red light, and compression therapy, visit elevation-wellness.com or follow them on Instagram at Elevation Wellness NEPA. All On the Stacks listeners will receive 10% off their first purchase with code STACKS at checkout. Call 570-762-9400 or visit elevation-wellness.com to book your appointment today. Elevation Wellness, taking your health to new heights. Welcome to the future. While you're hearing this ad in the present, the Center for Technology Innovation at Lackawanna College is preparing students for the jobs of tomorrow in the world of advanced technology. The Center for Technology Innovation will offer undergraduate degree programs, corporate training, as well as short-term stackable certificates in areas such as robotics, cybersecurity, electric vehicles, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. Based at a 90,000 square foot facility in downtown Scranton, Pennsylvania, the Center for Technology Innovation is located 2 hours from the major cities of New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia, and is just 15 minutes from a commercial airport in a region thriving with tourist attractions and a vibrant restaurant, educational, and cultural scene. Lackawanna College is a proven industry-leading innovator. But don't just take my word for it. Fast Company even recognized Lackawanna College's reputation for innovation by naming them to their top 10 list as one of the world's most innovative companies. For more information or to enroll, call 877-346-3552 or visit lackawanna.edu.
I have the privilege of representing people who have been injured through no fault of their own, and they come to us and they place a lot of trust in us, and we represent them against corporations and insurance companies, and we make those companies know that our clients have a story, that they deserve compensation, and I'm proud to be able to do that for our clients at Anzalone Law.
To learn more, visit Anzalone Law offices online at anzalonelaw.com. And now we're back on the Stacks.
Well, I was brought up into a family of bluegrass, so yeah, it was always country music from day one because my grandfather played in a back mountain string band, and they were hugely popular, and he played fiddle and mandolin in that band. And so when he taught me how to play, and I was brought up into country music, so. And then my mom is the one who helped me branch out. My dad, my dad was a big Molly Hatchet fan, and my mom had me 92.9. I remember, and it was Get Out of My Dreams used to come on when I was a kid because I was young, and Billy Ocean and songs like that. So my mom hooked me up with like the pop of the time.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it was all country, So until I got a little older, and then my neighbor across the street got me into hair metal. And I love glam metal. I love Poison is one of my favorite bands. Not my favorite band, but one of my favorite bands. And those two genres are really they're what I love. Like that 80s metal battle, the ballads, that came out of the 80s, or the country from the 70s and 80s and 90s, and even to today, So
yeah, and I think you mentioned it before, maybe a few minutes ago or something. But you also, when you walked in the door, we were talking about it too. But your name's the last name Stranger. I honestly didn't know that wasn't your real last name until you told me 5 minutes before we started recording here.
Right.
So yeah, where does the name come from?
Well, the name comes from my grandfather, who I was talking about. His name was Stranger Burge.
First name Stranger.
First name Stranger. His first name was literally Stranger. When he married my grandmother, he had to take a new name in the Catholic Church. He had to go by John, so he can marry my grandmother.
They wouldn't allow him to use the word Stranger?
Well, they wouldn't allow him to use the name Stranger because it wasn't a Catholic name.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that whole schmeal, how it goes, but
yeah, I don't know either. I went to Catholic school, but I
did too. I went to CCD and all that kind of stuff, and I was confirmed and communion, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember it all, but yeah, I know it was something to do with that. And they made him they called him John in church, but
John. Okay.
Yeah. And that was his name. And then I just idolized this man so much that he died in 93. I was only 9 years old when he passed away. He never got to see me play guitar. He only seen me play mandolin because he wanted me to be his mandolin player. He played guitar. I didn't. So and every way I play on guitar is after him. You know, like I play a lot of bluegrass that sounds like him. I keep a lot of him heavy in like the way I play. But yeah, his name was Stranger, and the story goes is he comes from a family, I believe, of, well, I want to say 11. I could be wrong, but I know there's a bunch of them. Like back in the day, they always had a bunch of kids.
Yeah, a lot of brothers and sisters.
So he had a kid from a huge family, and I think he's like towards the end. So when he was being born, his mother kept saying, "There's a stranger coming. There's a stranger coming. A little stranger's coming." And when he was born, they named him Stranger. So, and he didn't like it. Like, you know, probably not as much as I do. Like he wanted a different name because people laughed at him, I guess, when your name's Stranger back then and stuff. And then when I started doing this thing, playing by myself, I didn't want to go out. Who the fuck's Jimmy Burge? Like that doesn't have a ring to it.
Right? Yeah, But Jimmy Stranger's like, oh, I want to know. Right. I want to know who that guy's about. He's got a cool last name.
And my name is James Vincent Stranger Burge. So I just took out my middle name and my middle name is Vincent Stranger, because it's not like two different names, but
like one word. Like there's a hyphen.
No, there's no hyphen.
Okay.
It's just Vincent Stranger. That's the way. Like
okay.
So. And I just dropped the Vincent and the Burge, and there's Jimmy Stranger. Because I also like being called Jimmy, which is weird. Like, I know I'm not a little kid, but I was never called James. So the older I got, I didn't turn into a Jim. I didn't turn into a James. I like being Jimmy. I don't care how old I am.
Yeah.
Because that's who I was my whole life. You know, my dad was Jim, and I was Jimmy. So, because people still give me shit about the Jimmy. Like at 38 years old, you know what I mean? It's different.
Yeah. No,
usually Jimmy's a little kid.
Yeah.
No, I'm Jimmy.
Yeah. So I want to go back to your grandfather. So you said you idolized him so much, right? And he was only around till you said 9.
I was 9, yes.
Right. So you did he teach you how to play?
Yes, he did. He taught me how to play the mandolin. He handed me a mandolin at 2 years old, and even though I couldn't play, my mom freaked out because this was a Gibson mandolin he had. This was worth uber amounts of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. And he just hands it to a 2-year-old kid. And my mom's freaking out.
Yeah, like he's gonna drop it,
hit it.
Break it.
And I didn't. I stood there, I looked down, and I start plucking the strings. And he looks at my dad and my mom and goes, "He's gonna be a musician." And look at me today, you know. So he was right.
Wow.
You know, so, and I don't know if I was born with the talent I have or did he give it to me, but I just have it, you know.
So you just, like, at what age can you really also remember, like, actually playing or learning from him? Like, at what age do you remember this?
So I could remember as far back. What I do remember, other than what I'm told, is like I can remember far back as like maybe 7 or 8. And I do remember being in there playing, and my gran would come in and he'd yell at her because if I seen her, I didn't want to learn anymore. I wanted to go out and like play with toys. So he'd always try to keep her out of the music room so he could keep me down there playing. But I remember that about 7, but they say I started at 2, and I don't remember when I started playing music. It's just music's always been there.
You don't know anything else?
No, like even when it comes to people ask, well, how did you learn how to play it? I don't know. Because as far as my memory will take me back, there's always been a guitar in my life. There's always been some kind of instrument. You know, I've always sang. I remember being, I was like 8 years old, and I went up with a band and played at some church thing. So, you know, so I remember doing that before even learning how to play. So that's why it just gets blurry. Like, when did I learn? I don't know. It was like, I just was born and this is what I do, you know?
Did people tell you growing up, maybe some people maybe even still tell you now, did people tell you growing up, like, don't do that, don't pursue music?
No, I was never told that.
Really?
I was always told to pursue music.
Really?
You know, always.
No one ever said, like, oh, you're not going to be able to make money doing that?
Nope. When I was in in grade school, they would put me out like in front of the lunches, and I would sit up on the stage and I would just me with my guitar singing. And this was in grade school, like elementary school at State Street before they made it a huge school. It was tinier, but you know, and they'd put me on the stage and sing for the lunches, you know, and then I started bands. You know, I wasn't always solo. I started with bands, and then they'd have my bands play this high school dances, and this was what I was meant to do. Nobody ever told me Jimmy, you're never going to do this. This was always, you're going to do this if you put your mind to it. You know, there's nobody's going to stop you. You know, if you put your mind to it and be serious and take this seriously, you know, which I didn't do for a long time, that I could possibly be somebody, you know. And it took years for me now. And to that point, I was like, maybe they were right, you know. Now I'm 38 and almost running out of time. But hey, so yeah, it's never been.
Dude, your life just started, man. Right?
Don't feel like it. I feel like I lived a whole 3 lives before I got here. But,
That's right. Now you're on to the fourth.
right.
Fourth time's a charm.
Right. I
Right?
hope so.
Yeah.
Right.
So all right. So as a kid growing up, like you were in chorus.
Oh yeah, I was in chorus, and like I never like looked bad about it. Everybody was like, "Oh, you're in chorus." Nobody ever said that to me. I was in chorus. You know, I loved it. I was in Mr. Coates. I had him in
Mr. Coates.
Mr. Coates.
I don't know Mr. Coates, but I've heard the name.
He was a middle school chorus teacher. He was a good guy, and I remember singing for them. And I was always in like the bigger groups, like the concert choir. I could always sing. You know, like I could always sing. I always had a voice. You know, and maybe through the years I've ruined it because I've smoked cigarettes and all that. But I can still sing now, so it works. But even back then, like I don't want to say I was pushed. I was believed to be great someday, but it seems like that's what everybody that hears me thinks is like. Even back then, something was different about me. You know, that wasn't the same about everybody else. So I was most likely to become famous in high school. So and I remember I posed with a little Pepsi can, thinking I was cool.
Yeah.
And then for years after that, I thought, man, no, that went haywire. But hey, you never know, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Did Mr. Coates encourage you?
Mr. Coates, yes, he was a big impact on me in
Was he?
middle school. He was a good guy, yeah. Like I remember being in chorus.
Is he still around?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing nowadays. I mean, I think he's still around probably because he was also my church's piano player down at St. Vincent's, which is not a church anymore in Plymouth. So I knew him before I went to even had him in middle school for chorus. I knew him from years of playing my organ and me singing like God Bless God or whatever I was singing at the time.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, but he was always been like an influence, even back then.
Yeah.
Like he just, I don't know. If I still remember to this day, he had an impact on me.
Obviously he must have, right?
Right.
Well, we should we'll send him this episode.
Right.
Yeah. He obviously you probably learned a lot from him.
Right.
Right?
You know, like coming up and then it's just like I don't know.
But chorus, yeah. By the way, Jimmy T. Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Jimmy sang chorus together.
Another Jimmy who goes by Jimmy.
Goes by Jimmy.
By the way.
Right? We're not afraid to go by Jimmy's.
Yeah. Jimmy was he was in chorus, right?
Yeah, friend of mine.
He was Yep.
Yeah, he was in chorus. We sang together, you know, like, and a lot of these guys, I love that we're in the world of Facebook now, is because it's so cool to see guys that I went to school with, you know, and they're doing their thing and I'm doing mine, you know. We might not talk every day, but, you know, you root for your buddies. You know, you don't forget your friends. It's like, people might think you do, but I remember my friends I had in middle school, you know, and you root for those guys. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it's good.
Yeah. So, okay, so you're in chorus, jamming out,
Right.
and what were some of the things you did like when as a kid, like musically besides chorus? Anything else?
Musically, when I was,
like, did you play like anywhere else, like any theaters or anything?
I gotta remember. Right now, I didn't really think about this. I don't know. I've been playing a long time. I've played.
Or just mostly just like school stuff and church?
Well, no, there was chorus stuff. There was church stuff. And then outside school, I had a band. But I'm trying to remember when that started. But I think that was later on.
Like high school?
No, I've always had a band.
Oh, okay.
Like, even me and my buddy would always play. And I had the music room. So we always had like this band. But we never had a band that played out, you know, until I was like 15.
You just played in?
Yeah. So like maybe when I was 14 or 15, I was playing out to bars. And the reason I got to do that is at the time my dad would go, and my dad would sit in the back and like drink his Coors Light while I was up, so his son could go up there and play with his buddies in the band.
Did you get paid?
He was, yeah. That was my high school job.
Wow.
I was playing bars on the weekend.
Wow.
You know, so I can't beat that. You know, like that was how I made extra cash as a kid. And, you know, I'd play bars on the weekend, and we didn't care. Like, I mean, we would make maybe $200, which is chump change. But $50 to a 15-year-old kid is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
You know?
We were talking before about yo-yos.
Right.
And I was saying, we were talking about the SS2 that I never got when I was a kid.
Right.
It just reminded me of it as you were saying that, because I was saying, like, I don't know how much the SS2 yo-yo cost, you know, back then, but I was like, I think it might have been like $20.
Right.
But then I was like, maybe it was 50. I don't know. But I was like, I don't know, $50 just seemed like maybe a real lot of money. I feel like $50 like back then might have been
right. $50.
That sounds like too much. Yeah. But I was like, I never had that SS2 yo-yo, because we were talking about how you were telling me right before you came on that you're a secretly talented
yo-yoist.
Yo-yo-ist.
That's what you call it, yo-yoist?
That's what we're calling it. Yeah, you're a yo-yoist.
For 3 years, I was going to be a yo-yo champion, I guess. I don't know.
You're walking the dog like nobody's business, right?
Flipping the thing, I'd stall it. I was styling and profiling with my yo-yo, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell I was thinking at that time, but hey, it's a little known secret. Nobody really knows about me that I was like infatuated with yo-yos for 3 years of my life.
Yeah. I think I kind of was. I was, but I was never really that good.
Right.
I just like enjoyed like.
I mean, I wasn't the greatest. I mean, I got to the point where like I don't know. It was in Luzerne. It was a toy store. It was called S&J Shop, I think, or something. And they'd have tournaments for yo-yos, and I made my dad take me on Saturdays
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, I thought I was good. These guys were 30 times better than me, but hey, I gave it a go.
So you weren't winning. You were. Just,
I wasn't winning. No, I have no awards to show you for my yo-yoing.
Yeah, your yo-yoing career.
Right, my previous life here.
Yeah.
My yo-yoist.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny.
So different, right?
I know. And right before we started, I looked up that SS2. You know, vintage 1990s yo-yo.
Sad when you see vintage in front of 90s.
Isn't that
though.
weird?
Wow, yeah.
Isn't that so weird? And I was like, I told you, I was like, I'm gonna Google it and see if I can find it. And sure enough, I think this is. I was trying to see how much it costs now. I got
Right.
now like I gotta find it. Like,
Well, now they're putting vintage in front of it. It's probably more than $20.
oh yeah, it's probably a couple $100 at least, right? I feel like I don't know. I feel like I can't find. I'm trying to look like.
Now you're gonna be looking to buy one. Like I'm just.
Oh yeah. If any fan is listening and has an SS2 and wants to sell it to me. Oh wait, this says
He's accepting gifts.
Yeah, right. This says very rare, sold on eBay in 2019 for $10. There's no way. There's no way.
No, it can't.
That can't be right.
Worth less than what it was originally.
Yeah, this is yo-yo.collectionhero.com. I don't know.
Right.
The website looks shady. It's way more than $10. I'm pretty sure it was $20 in the 90s.
Just the other week, I ordered shoes offline. They stole my money.
Did they?
They never sent me the shoes.
From where? What the hell did you get?
I forget. I forget the name of the place. But sometimes I'll put in like what shoes I'm looking for, and then it'll all come up on top of like the phone or the computer. Mm-hmm. And so I forget the thing I ordered it from. But luckily it was through PayPal. I did get my money back.
Okay.
But the funny thing is, they took my money. I'm like, yeah, great pair of shoes. Well, it was my fault. They were only $85 for Air Jordan 1s, like the original.
And they probably
Jordans.
should have been
Yeah,
a lot more.
But $50 was my fault. I thought
Yeah.
maybe it was a great deal.
Yeah, you're like-
they stole my money.
Well, at least you did the PayPal thing.
Yeah.
I always do that too, though.
PayPal will cover you.
Yeah. I always do. Whenever I, not that I frequently shop from shady websites,
Right.
but like,
No, just in case you do.
Yeah, but if I'm ever on like a website somewhere and I'm like, this, I've never bought from it before, maybe, or it's just like, I don't want to put my credit card in.
Right.
So I'm like, I'll probably never buy there again or whatever. I always just opt to do the PayPal thing
Right.
because it's like, I'll be
Right,
good.
because either way, they'll help you out. Even if they do steal your money, PayPal will give it back.
Yeah.
Shameless plug for that,
So did you end up like actually getting the pair like somewhere else?
Yeah, I
Did
got
you?
them. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Luckily, they gave me the money back. I got shoes. It's all good.
Yeah.
But just in that beginning, when you said that, I'm like, yeah, that was my stupid fault for finding these shoes for like $95 when they're really like $200 shoes. And I'm like, yeah, mine.
Good deal. Yeah. Hurry up quick,
Yeah,
as
good deal.
fast as you could. Like click buy, right?
Yeah.
So you're a Jordan.
And then there's no way to find out your tracking number. There's nothing. They didn't send you no. I knew from the jump. As soon as my money was taken out of the
you were
account.
like, oh, that was a mistake.
Yes, that somebody's got my money somewhere because as soon as that money came out, I got no confirmation email, no send, like, you know what I
Nothing.
mean? Like
Nothing.
There's nothing.
Zero.
It was crickets.
It was just
Like, as soon as-
Jimmy's money gone.
Yes, as soon as I hit purchase, I knew I was fucked. Like, it was just like I just made the stupidest move in my life. Like now I don't know if they could actually get into the rest of my money or something. But
Yeah. Like you're quick logging into your bank account,
Right.
like, as if they're like draining your account, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh my
So
god.
yeah, that's what it was. As soon as I hit purchase, I knew right at that moment that this was fake.
Yeah. Wow.
It's hard to admit, but yeah.
Dude, I get it. It happened to me. Well, yeah, it happened to me one time, but it was the same thing. It was a sneaker thing, but I think I bought it. I think it was I think I used my credit card, but I think it was American Express, and they're really good with it too. Because I've had fraud happen a few times on those credit cards, and every time like they actually like call you and say, hey, there was a charge that came through that looks like it might have been fraud. Like, did you purchase this? And I'm usually like, I have to think like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But the time that it happened to me with a pair of sneakers, again, I'm pretty sure it was Amex. I called because I didn't get the order. Like I wasn't getting the order. And same thing, there was no, I mean, I got a confirmation, but then there was a confirmation I got the order, but then nothing was coming after that. There was no like, hey, it's shipped, or here's an expected ship date. It was just like in the abyss of like sneaker land.
There's no contact after that.
Right. And they don't answer anything. So then like it just got to a point where I was being so hopeful because like I wanted the shoes, and I'm like, that's not working out. So I called Amex. I was just like holding out, and then I'm like, hey, I bought this, and they didn't give me the product. Like it never came through. Like, and they're like, okay, so of course they investigate a little bit first. They didn't just say okay and remove it, but
You know, they have to go through their shit
and they tried contacting them. And by the way, for anybody, I mean, I should have known this was like a total scam. It probably doesn't exist anymore. I'm looking it up right now, and I'll tell you what the name is in a second. Because I think he got canceled, so the website probably doesn't even work anymore. But it was they were a pair of Yeezys. Have you ever heard of like Yeezy Supply? I think it was Yeezy Supply. Yeah. Does that sound familiar? I think that's what it was. I think I just tried looking it up. It doesn't. Yeezy. Hold on, let's see. Yeezy Supply. I think it was Yeezy. Oh, I'm spelling it wrong. That's why. But this was back in the day. Like, I should have known better. Yeah, I don't think it works. It just says can't be reached. So
same mistake I made. You should have known.
Yeah,
better,
because same thing. I was like, you couldn't get them like whatever the release was at the time.
Right.
They sold out like instantly, and I was like, well, the only way I can get them is aftermarket, whatever. And you supply, I guess, like they somehow always showed stock, which obviously was false because like. They really didn't because it was a scam.
It's kind of the same thing. Like that. Now that you're saying this, was probably the same kind of company.
Yeah.
Because that was the same thing. Everything was always in stock, almost the same price.
Yeah. It didn't make sense.
Right.
It was like
too good to be true.
Yeah, exactly. And I think even if you Googled it, like Yeezy Supply, like Google like guesses your search term, the next thing that comes up is like scam, and I'm like, but I was just like, I really want them.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna take the risk.
Take the risk. Right. I was like, Amex will back it. They'll back.
Right. Sometimes they'll back me up.
Yeah. They did. So
But hey, you live and you learn,
Hey, exactly. Sometimes it's a pair of sneakers, sometimes it's something else, but at least it was only a pair of sneakers.
Sometimes it's nothing.
Yeah. So I want to go back to the music a little. I mean, obviously, this is a huge part of it is you.
It is,
as you said.
Everybody always says like music is me. That's the only really thing I'm good at. I can't fix cars. I can't put stairs on your house, but I can play with song while you do all that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You can. You're the entertainment. But
I'm not a handyman.
Neither am I, dude. It's all good.
So
yeah, but yeah. So your original music, like where do you obviously we talked about like the one one of the songs, but where do you get the inspiration from for some of your originals and take me back years back through some of your first originals, we'll say.
Some of my first originals me and my buddy wrote, there's a song called Blind, a song called Hopeless. And where their songs really came from is like middle school. We were writing these, and it was really just to impress the girls. Like, how could I put it other than that? Like, I was a chubby kid, and so I would just play it, and I could sing. So, hey, we would write these songs, and we'd play them. And, when you're growing up and you have your little, like, what is it called? Like, puppy love girlfriend, and you break up, so you write this sad song. And that's where these songs came from, those earlier songs. And then later on, it was just whatever I was going through. I don't really, if I feel like writing a song, I'll write it. Like, there was one time I had this one girlfriend that, I fucked up, So this song came from that, and it came from that experience that I learned from that experience that it was my fault, And it's called I'm Not Drunk, I'm Not Sober. It's because I always told her I was sober, but I wasn't drunk,
Okay, yeah.
And that's where that song came from. And then it's just from life, I don't have inspiration to really... I don't know. I don't look at something. Yeah, I don't really have anything to point to and say,
interesting.
This is what did it. It's just whatever I'm going through, or I'll write a song however I'm feeling that day, or what I've been through in my life. And now I'm thinking about maybe looking at different things and maybe trying to write different songs. But for me, it's always just been from an emotional standpoint. That's where all these songs come from, if that makes any sense.
Oh, 100%.
They were just emotional songs. When I was at my brink, I'd write a song. So that's where they usually came from.
Yeah. So, because you have the face tattoos, I mean, you remind me of two people, right? And I know you probably get this a lot, right? So there's...
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Right? Yeah, right? Jelly Roll and Post Malone.
See, I get Jelly Roll a lot. Post Malone, I don't.
Post Malone, you don't?
No. Jelly Roll, I do.
See, I'm a big Post Malone fan. Maybe that's why.
Right. I like him too. I like his stuff. Yeah. Believe it or not, I do. I have such a wide range of music that I love so very much. Like, I'm not just a country guy or a rock guy. I like rap. I like it all.
Do you? Okay. Well, I mean, you got the Death Row. You got the Death Row shirt. Look at this thing. Look at this. Right? Yeah. Hell yeah. That's I compliment. As soon as you walked in, I'm like, yo, that's
right. I figured today I had to wear this just to show, like, I have other influences outside of country.
Yeah. Right. Death Row Records.
People are gonna see that like, whoa, like, like he's wearing that shirt. But no, like, I grew up loving that music too. Like, like some of it. I don't know why. I just do. Like, especially a lot of guys on Death Row, that early gangster rap music really just grabbed me at 13, I guess.
Yeah, me too. Dude, everybody always laughs at me, like, still to this day. Like, and I even sometimes feel like I have to justify, like, why I listen to that type of music.
Right.
Because, like, everyone's like, I guess people just look at me and don't expect me to listen to gangster rap.
Right.
Right. Would you expect that of me?
See, now I don't know what to expect nowadays, so I can't judge anybody.
True. This is true. But I get busted a lot.
Right.
I do listen to other music. I was telling you, I like Mumford and Sons. Right. Like I listen to other genres too. But I'll say honestly, like mostly rap, hip hop.
Right.
And like the late '90s, early 2000s rap, hip hop. Like
right.
That's when it blew up.
It was good. It was a really good time to be alive for music.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, me being 38, I can remember the biggest things at my time that were popular were the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
Yeah, of course. I think we all do, right?
But I mean, once you dig through that, there's a lot of good music that came out in the 90s, man. Not only like rock, but rap was great in the 90s. You had so much. You had R&B back then, which I don't even think really exists that much anymore like it did. Like in our younger days.
Yeah.
We had like the R&B music. I love that slow R&B, like Casey and JoJo or something like that. They don't have those type of bands nowadays.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who were some of your favorite original gangsters?
Original gangsters got to be Ice Cube. Ice Cube, I liked him. Eazy-E. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of the NWA in general. So
sure,
I'm not going to mention them all now because I still just say NWA.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But like them guys, I like Biggie, of course, Tupac, a lot of the mainstreamer guys. So I don't want to try to call it. Everybody's like, he's just calling out mainstream guys. That's all I know off the top of my head.
Yeah, but you're a Posty fan.
Yeah, I like him. I like him because I also see behind what he does. Like, it seems like he does everything. I've watched that man cover Nirvana. I've watched him play guitar in the middle of a show and sing. It's just so different. That's what I like about him. He puts out different music, but he plays everything. His music that he does ain't always everything he puts out. So I do like Post Malone a lot.
Yeah.
Because of that. Because I don't know if you ever seen that first video he ever had where it's funny. He's like, and he's dancing around.
So.
Like,
yeah.
He started just like we did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like his music.
Do you relate to him like lyrically?
Some of them Fall Apart. I don't know.
I know that song. Yeah.
Dude,
I love that song.
I relate to that one.
Dude, I love that song.
It's a good ass tune.
It's a really good tune.
So that one I really related to when he came out with that, and I like how he sings it. It's
incredible,
right? So.
And his voice. You look at him, and when I started listening to him like years ago, when you see him, you're like, there's no way this guy. That's the voice coming out of this guy.
Yeah,
like everybody like says that,
Right.
I feel like that first discovered him.
Right. Because you wouldn't believe it either. Like, no way is that him who's singing
what?
It. Yeah.
That's him?
Right.
Like he sang that? Like what? Yeah.
Right. And he came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you never know who's behind that voice.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anybody.
Could be Jimmy Stranger.
Could be. Someday.
Yeah. So you don't get the Post Malone? No.
I get the Jelly Roll all the time.
But not Post Malone?
Not Post Malone. I get the Jelly Roll, I think, a lot because I play a lot of his music. Even when I'm out playing, I play 3 of his songs.
Okay.
And plus, I'm a bigger guy with Cat, too.
Yeah, so you kind of almost kind of look like him.
We're almost similar.
Yeah.
So, and I do get that a lot. And crazily, the way we both are is he's famous and stuff like that, and I'm not. But our lives are very similar. Jelly Roll's story is so close to mine in different ways, so we're different but the same. I think we'd be cool friends if we ever met each other because we are so similar in the way our lives were, and he's one step up on me, so maybe someday, you'll get to come see me in Jelly Roll.
Hell yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Well, we'll try to figure that out, and you got to hook me up with some backstage passes or something. Yeah.
If I could ever make that happen. But I do get that all the time, that I look like Jelly Roll. Somebody just actually commented that today because I posted a picture on Facebook. Because I recently lost weight.
Yeah, I did. I saw it. I saw a before and after you did.
Joy actually sent it to me. She's like, wow, you look so much different from just a few months. And that was only a few months ago. They diagnosed me with diabetes. So now they put me on medicine. And I thought that day, only 2 months ago, was the end of my world. Oh my God, diabetes was a death sentence. But it really wasn't. It was just how I felt at that time. And then I changed how I eat, no more sugar and stuff. And I didn't get a gym membership or anything, this has just been me.
All you did was just change your diet?
All I did was change my eating habits. Yeah, my diet.
Wow.
And it's just that most of that weight's coming off, which is good.
Yeah, that does. I just know, from other people around me that are big into, fitness and nutrition and everything, that, I think 90% of it is diet.
Right. That's what it is. It's about what you eat, and exercise obviously does help.
Sure.
I'd probably be
of course.
only 100 pounds if I exercised, but I don't got time for that. I already stopped doing everything fun. Come on, God.
Yeah.
Don't make me work out on
So
top of it.
how much did you lose?
Right now, I really don't know. I know I look different.
Yeah.
I don't own a scale. So
Okay.
I'll find out.
So you don't even know.
No, I don't know. I just know that I feel better and I'm smaller.
You got it. Okay.
Because
Yeah. Well, I saw the picture myself. Literally, I think when you just posted it. Like
yeah,
I
it
was
was
like,
yesterday.
okay.
Yesterday,
Yeah, I saw it, and
you
I was like, oh wow.
Yeah. So I was like, I didn't notice it, but she did, and she's like, you should post that. She's like, be proud of it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I feel, how'd you do it? And I don't know. I didn't get a gym membership or anything. You know, I just started drinking more water. You know, get off that crap. I was just a lot of booze. You know, like when I was playing my shows, LaRue was my best friend. You know, because I always called it throat medicine, so nobody could tell me I was drinking. I was like, no, I'm just taking my medicine, bro. Like, gotta heal my throat to sing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, gotta be able to play.
Right. So, and then now I don't drink anymore. You know,
At all.
once in a while. You know, I'm not against it or anything.
Sure.
You know? I will come back, maybe have a twisted tea or two. I never was a beer. I don't like beer.
Okay.
So when I say I drink twisted teas. Yeah, I'm that guy. So
Do the straw and the
the T-bombs.
The T-bombs.
Yeah, T-bombs. So I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah, of course. We've all
But
done them.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I haven't done them in a long time. Too
neither
much
have
sugar.
I.
I can't do that shit
You know,
anymore.
you start getting older.
Ugh.
Now it's funny
hard,
when
isn't
I'm
it?
on my Facebook posting that, and my buddies from high school are like, yeah, man, I stopped eating sugar too, and I lost about 25 pounds. This is what we care about nowadays.
Isn't it wild? The craziest things.
Right? Like you realize, man, we are. Like you can't live like,
It's simple things.
right. It's simple things. And then you just get older. And it's realizing like we're just all getting older, you know, like that one time when I cared about like, ooh, what kind of car do you have? Now we're talking about diabetes and what we eat and how do we lose weight? And
Yeah, it's like who
wow.
gives a shit about that other stuff?
Right. Like in the long run of things, it really doesn't matter. You know, there is none of this without like your body or being alive, you know, and getting it treated right. It took me a long time to realize that. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So are you like, do you have a plan to try to lose more weight?
no, not
You're
really.
just trying to stay generally
just try to do what I
healthy.
do. Just try to stay with healthier. Because if I try to stick to a plan or anything, I'm not good with that. You know, what is it called? I don't have much. Oh, there's a word for it that I'm not
discipline?
finding. Discipline. Yes,
Discipline,
exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm bad. If I tell myself like to do something, I'm not going to do it. It's like I just want to be the bad guy on myself. It's like I'm bad to the bone, regardless, even if it's to me. So I just kind of not think about it, you know, and try to not buy soda or like just do it the best I can.
Drink some water.
Yeah, drink the water.
How much do you drink a day? How much water?
I could drink about 4 or 5 bottles a day.
All right.
And outside, and I still drink coffee. I love coffee. So I try to substitute the soda with coffee, but I use 0 sugar creamer. So
Okay. All right.
that makes any sense. But
Yeah.
I do love my coffee, and then I drink water, just 0 sugar stuff. I don't like diet. I think the 0 sugar stuff's better. And hey, the weight's falling off, and I'm getting healthier. So that's all that matters.
There you go. No more, what'd you call it? The throat medicine?
No more throat medicine, and it sucks. I mean, I always thought, you know, I want to drink. I want to be this famous musician and party, and that's not what it's about. You know, now looking at it, like I looked at it all wrong when I was younger. That I should have just been professional from the jump. But hey, everybody gets second chances, right? I guess I got one.
So I want to talk about that for a minute. So you thought you had like this misconception, right, of like what it meant to be what was called a rock star for all intents and purposes.
I
right?
guess I had the same inception everybody else did, but the fact was I could do it. So I was able to go out there and do it, you know.
But you felt like you had to be not sober while doing it?
Because the guys I looked up to, you got to figure out like Motley Crue, Poison. I can name these bands from the 80s that'll tell you when stuff, you don't do it sober. Guns N' Roses.
Okay, yeah.
You know, so when you're growing up heavily influenced by them and Johnny Cash himself, like music isn't a sober life. You know, you don't think it is. You don't think you could do this, you know, being sober. Like, how do I go to a show, play for 3 hours in front of all these people and not have one drink? You know, and just be sober the whole time.
Have you done that?
Yeah, I do it all the time now.
You do that now?
Yeah, I do that now. You know, I stay pretty well. Just
it's probably pretty difficult though to not accept it because you know the first thing people probably say is, "Hey, you want to drink?"
Want a shot? Hey, you want a shot? The biggest thing is people want to buy.
Yeah,
a shot.
especially as the music. I think the talent is always offered and just like it's just like whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the bad side of it too, is because like you don't know when to stop. You know, like people are just throwing it at you for free, and it's like before you know it, I don't remember last night.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember what you sang.
Right, I don't remember what I sang. I don't remember leaving the bar. I don't know how much stuff got home. How did I end up on this couch? I don't know.
What happened to my Jordan sneakers?
Right?
You went on a shopping spree.
Went on a shopping spree and bought shoes.
But didn't actually get them. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, yeah, I had that misconception, I guess, coming into it from a child, like not even a child, but like a teenager who I idolized. It wasn't the wrong people. It was just I was trying to be too much like them, not realizing everything that they did before that, or anything like that got them to where they are, didn't involve all the other bullshit that came with it, you know. So that was like a misconception on my part, you know.
Yeah, you felt like you had to like just do what they were doing.
You had to live this image. We'll put it that way. Like you had to live this image. If you're in a rock band, you're gonna, you know, you do this, that.
You gotta look the part,
right?
And do the thing.
Right, do the thing.
Yeah.
So, and I did the thing a little too goddamn much. So
just a little bit.
Right.
It's all good. You got some great tattoos.
I got some great tattoos.
Yeah,
I got stories for every one of them. Like my
give me
favorite tattoo.
Okay, I was just gonna say, what is it?
That's my favorite tattoo.
The fish.
Yeah, fish. Don't know why.
Is it a goldfish? Is that a goldfish?
Yeah, it's just a little goldfish.
Okay. You don't know why it's your favorite?
Don't know why. I just every time it's just there, and it's like my favorite tattoo.
But every one of these has a story as to why you got it, right?
Has a story like that was my dog's paw. It's actual paw. We put it in ink. His name was Bear. That's my grandfather's name, my name. Like, there's a story of a lot of them. Like Carrie. That was my first tattoo, obviously.
Carrie.
Like that, and I got it. And the funniest thing about it is I walked around like this.
Making sure that everyone can see it.
Everybody could see it.
Right?
And if I had you give me a drink, Jimmy? Yeah, I could get you a drink. You want a drink? Oh, it's over here.
Sure.
Flashing that tattoo around, you know? Like you
I love it.
You know, you get them first tattoos, you're always like, oh, I got an itch.
Yeah. Right.
So
it's like, oh, it's hot in here. Let me roll my sleeves up, and it's like 30 degrees.
Right.
You know?
So, yeah, I've been through those tattoos, but they all do. They all have meaning. Maybe some of them are stupid, and some of them aren't, you know? But
yeah. So the goldfish, what does it? You said does it have a story?
It doesn't have a story.
You don't know. It was just like
me
in the
sitting
moment.
Around one night, going, and my buddy tattooed, and I was like, man, I want a goldfish, and I have a goldfish now. That's the story to that. I want a goldfish. I have a goldfish.
Hey, that's pretty simple.
You know, so
give me. How about another one? You got? You want to share a story? One of the others, like.
What do you want to know?
I don't know. What do you got?
I don't know.
What's the ones on your? What's that? Is that a date?
Oh, that's a funny story. This 1955. All right. I went and got this because I thought it was my mom. The year my mom was born. I'm like, yes, my mom was born in 55. That's cool. So, because I had him, like my dad passed away, I got him.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd do something for my mom, which I have mama going across the side of my head.
Okay.
Which she can't see even if I take my hat off. But I figured I'd do something cool and get it for her. So I got 1955. My fingers, I go home. I'm like, Mom, look what I got. Da, 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 da. She was born in 1954.
Nailed it.
So 1955 now, when people ask me this story, I tell a funny story, but it's actually the year rock and roll was considered invented. So that's the story I use.
Wow.
But it was really a mess up on my part that I was a year off.
Well, hey, but it's still like it has like a
right.
It has like a different but unique meaning though.
Right, but it still had, when I looked it up, like what the hell is 1955?
What am I going to tell people?
Right,
instead of telling them the embarrassing story.
The embarrassing that I was a year off from the year my mom was born. That it was 1955 is the year rock and roll was technically considered born. So
that's great.
We'll go with that one.
I love it.
But like, and then like all these just came just with time. Like really don't have, it was just me. Like I wanted tattoos, or I was feeling a certain type of way, and where could I put a tattoo? Where like, and like my neck came about like after all that with like we were talking about earlier with like, I mean, being like questioned by the police and all that. They did a lot. Well, my mom, when I went to court, decided to put me in like a turtleneck and all this and tried to cover all my tattoos because she thought they looked bad. Well, I guess at the time, being maybe a 20-year-old kid, I looked at my mom and was like, well, okay, you think I could cover them with a turtleneck? I'm going to put them higher. And I'm make them more noticeable.
Yeah.
You know, and so I guess that's why they got so big on my neck and stuff like that. So
because you want to let them show out of the turtleneck.
Right. I didn't want them to be able to be covered. I wanted tattoos where you couldn't cover them, which was the stupidest thing I ever did. But hey, you're on a podcast now telling the story. Right.
So.
I'm on a podcast now telling the story with you. So I guess it worked out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So by the way, I don't think we gave him a shout out yet. We have to. Kurt.
Oh, Kurt.
Kirk or Savage.
Man.
By the way, I call him Kurt Savage because I got introduced to him by the way through Jimmy T. Martin.
Right.
And I got introduced to Kurt, a little while back, and Kurt was on the show. I'm sure you probably saw it.
Yes, I did.
But yeah, so for some reason, I don't know why, but I think when Jimmy was talking about it, I don't know, but maybe we just made like a joke or a reference that, around Savage, and his last name is Chris Savage. So it's very, very similar, right? And literally up until Kurt came on the show, I got introduced to him like a little while before he came on. I forget how long it was that we scheduled him to come in to record, but I saved in my phone as Kurt Savage. And dude, I'm not even joking. I literally thought his name was Kurt Savage. Like
the coolest name ever, right?
Right, yeah. So, I told him on the show, and I was like, That's in my. I'm never changing it.
Right,
Never changing it. Yeah. So shout out to Kurt Savage.
Yeah, shout out to Kurt Savage
for introducing us.
For introducing
Yes.
us. I mean, he's a great guy. Great
He
guy.
is.
You know, I played his parties a million times, and
That's what he said. Yeah.
He's like, man, he's believed in me since like forever. Yeah, I mean, he truly does. I mean, I owe Kurt a lot.
Yeah. He's told me that a million times about you.
And then it's funny. I'll see my face and he's wearing my shirt. Like he has Jimmy Stranger's shirt on. I'm like, that's fucking great, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's the brother that really does support me, you know, and he does his best when he comes out. He sees me, you know, and I don't know. I played his parties and I'll Kurt a lot, you know. Just he's a great dude. He really is.
He is a great dude.
Right.
And now we met.
Right now we met.
Yeah.
And that was cool too. You know, that's just one more thing Kurt's done for me.
We owe everything to Kurt.
Right.
Kurt,
Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt, you own the show now, and
right.
but no. So Kurt was also telling me like you play a lot. You play like sometimes you play like not maybe almost every day, but almost every day.
Every day, but Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I go Wednesday to Friday. Sometimes I go Wednesday. Well, I haven't gone Wednesday to Friday in forever. Wednesday and Saturday, and sometimes I play Sundays.
And sometimes you play like 2 to 3 in a day, right?
Sometimes, yeah. I'll have to do 2 or 3 in a day because.
How the hell do you do that?
By the grace of God.
Seriously.
I love it, you know, and it's like I said, it's one thing that I get to do this for a living now. And, you know, by the grace of God, I do. So, and I'll do 3 shows in a day. And sometimes it's hard. And by the 3rd one, I feel bad because maybe that venue or that person ain't getting the best of me because I already gave the best of me twice, you know, so.
Yeah.
But other than that, I try to do the best I could, and just as long as my voice is there, I'm gonna be there. You know, as long as my arms and my voice works, I'm gonna be there. There's no doubt about it. I don't care if there's 4 a day, 5 a day. If I could sing, you know, I could play guitar, I'll do it.
Do you do like voice training?
No, I don't do anything. And that's the craziest thing everybody always says. Dude, I don't do anything. I smoke cigarettes. I drink whatever.
So you're doing all the right things.
All the right wrong things, right?
Yeah.
You would think I have all this like crazy.
Like you're in the shower warming up,
nope,
like doing.
I don't sing at home really. I mean,
really?
When I'm playing and practicing,
sure.
But I don't sing in the shower. You know.
You don't sing in the shower? I thought everybody did that.
Except when you do it for a living, I guess.
I guess it's different.
I'm like silent in there, and I'm just showering it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is no. I don't warm my voice up. You know, I don't go la, 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 or do any of that kind of stuff.
I thought I heard you doing that in the bathroom before we started.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't do any of that.
No rigorous training.
No rigorous training. No voice lessons. No. I just play.
All natural.
All natural, man. And one day if it quits on me, then hey, that's on me. But for right now, that's what I do. You know, it's there. So.
Do you still write? Are you still making originals?
Yes, still writing originals. Yeah. I'm still. Are
you putting together an album?
I want to. I mean, eventually it will be there. You know, like. What's weird right now is that's another thing about me is I'm so backward of a person.
Let's straighten this out right now, Jimmy. Let's do it. All right. Tell me.
I'm so backward of a person that I've never been on YouTube. I've never had a TikTok. I've never really put my music on Facebook, you know? So nobody really knows who I am.
Yeah, dude.
Unless you've seen me in public.
Yeah.
And now, like, in the last 2 years, Joy has done a lot with the Jimmy Stranger music page and stuff with my videos. But even them, like, videos of me on Facebook don't do you justice unless you hear me live or stuff like that. So I'm like this little unknown secret because I'm not out there saying, hey, look at me. Hey, look at me.
Right.
I don't do that. And I don't know if that's just because of my anxiety or what, but I don't ever I'm not like, hey, over here, look at me.
Sure.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
But when other people do it for me, and then that's how I end up here.
Yeah, right, Kurt. Yes.
Right.
Shout out to Kurt again. Yeah.
It's that backward way that I just always had. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's backwards. I wouldn't call it backwards. I would just, that's just not your thing.
Right. I've never been one to. I never knew the line between being humble and being. What's it called? Like being humble
and bragging.
And bragging.
Yeah, I get it.
So
I get it.
To get rid of all that, I just didn't do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I never knew that anybody to say I was trying to act like I'm better than anybody. So I never did it. And, slowly but surely, here I am.
Yeah, no, I 100%. I feel that because I feel the same way about myself sometimes too. And I think a lot of times we don't give ourselves enough credit. And I'm guilty of that. And I think you are too.
Yeah, exactly.
A little constructive criticism. Hope you don't mind.
Hey.
But I think you should give yourself a little more credit, man.
Right.
And maybe once in a while, just give yourself that shameless plug. And I probably won't take my own advice because, like I said, like I don't do that sometimes too. Like, I don't celebrate those wins or say like, hey, this is me, this is what I did.
Right.
Like, sometimes, but not all the time. And it's like, I like same thing. I feel like, if I post this, I feel like people are going to look at it and be like, oh, he's just bragging. Well, there he goes again. He's bragging.
Right.
And it's like, really, it's
and even like now,
it's not that.
I'm to the point where like I won. I came in second in the Luzerne County and Beyond Talent Show.
Yeah.
So I came in second there, and I told everybody about it and posted. I got a big check. I never got a big check.
I saw the giant check.
I thought that was cool. So I felt like a golfer. I was like, I got a big ass check. I'm like, I was walking down the street with this check, because like I never had a big check in my life. It was like $500, but I didn't care. It was a big ass check.
Still big check.
Hangs on my wall,
Yep.
And then that I did gloat about a little bit. And I don't know if it's gloating, but I just put it like, hey, look what I did, look what I could do,
Yeah.
And then I came in second again. This year has been the year of the number 2 because I came in second for best vocalist in Times Leader and best solo artist. So it was like the year of the number 2, so hopefully next year will be the year of the number 1, but this year's been the year of the 2. So I can't complain.
Well, I'm rooting for you.
Right? And I'm just out there playing, like you said, from Wednesday to Sunday. And like if anybody's listening, they can catch me anywhere. Just you go on my page and all my shows I'm booked till December. So
wow, till December.
I'm booked right up till December.
That's insane.
Yep.
Like five days a week, basically.
Almost.
Unless like you maybe have like
the
an
most.
off week
I'll
or
definitely
something.
have Fridays and Saturdays till December.
Wow.
And like you keep some dates open and then you fill them in. But yeah, I'm pretty booked.
Holy shit.
Solid for the rest of the year. I can't complain, right?
Yeah.
And that's locally. That's playing local bars, and shout out to local bars in general, not just one, but just to all of them, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do that, I wouldn't be able to put food on my family's table. So thank God for local bars.
Shout out to the local bars. Absolutely. So you playing locally, right? Like what do you want to do? Like what else do you want to do? Where else do you want to play? Where do you see yourself going? Where do you want to
go to Nashville. That's my next thing is I do want, like you were saying, I do want to make an album. I want to put all my songs together that I've had. I put an album out there.
What's in Nashville you want to go there for? Because I have a couple connections there for
Nashville. What I want to go to Nashville for? The Grand Ole Opry. I want to go to down to Broadway and play. I think it's the Bluebird. I think it's called the Bluebird Cafe or something down there.
Yeah. I'm not even kidding. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's it. Bluebird. Somebody else on my show said that before. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's kind of where I want to go. And you play at the Bluebird, and like you like they don't pay you. It's different than it does up here, but it's just a dream,
Yes. I'm looking his name right now too to give him a little shout out. But yeah, his name was Dave Yeager. He's a local guy. I'm pretty sure. I think he mentioned it on the show. If not, either way, he definitely told me about that. I'm pretty sure because he was on the podcast. It was episode 118. If anyone wants to go back, or if you want to check it out yourself. He worked in the music industry. He worked for Beats. So before Apple Music became Apple Music, it was started by Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre, and it was remember the Beats. Yeah, remember that. But remember the music app, like before the headphones.
No.
Okay, so you don't know that story. So you definitely got to check out his episode. I'm not like ruining the whole thing, but Apple Music, before it was called Apple Music, they actually purchased. I mean, not only did they purchase obviously the Beats by Dre headphones, right? But they actually also purchased the music platform that became Apple Music.
Oh wow!
So like there was iTunes, but then something became Apple Music. Yeah. So what it was Beats, like they actually had, I forget what it was called, but there was an app. And like I vaguely remember it myself,
right? But
it was a music streaming app, just like Apple Music, but obviously not as good because Apple made it way better. But anyway, so he worked in the development he worked for Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre.
That's cool.
Right, like literally when Beats by Dre like started, like originally, like he worked for, I think it was, I don't know if it was Universal. Forgive me, Dave, if I freaking butchered I forgot. He worked for a record label.
Right.
He worked for like a couple record labels.
That's cool.
And then within there he met Jimmy Iovine. And yeah, so he worked like in the startup of what became Apple Music. So he worked there when Apple acquired Beats.
That's pretty cool.
Which is pretty wild and insane.
Right.
But yes, I'm almost positive he mentioned the Bluebird Cafe during his episode.
Oh yeah.
So it was episode 118. And if you want to check it out,
118.
Yeah, 118. And I'm going to introduce you to him also because so he worked out in LA for like 20 years or something. He's from this area. Followed his dream to work in the music industry out there,
right?
And did it out there, right? And he actually just moved back home, just in the last like year or two,
right? Once you get to the point where it's now I could do it here too. So.
Yeah. So he's been to Nashville a million times, and he's got lots of connections and stuff down there. Awesome. I can't remember the names of the cool music recording studios down there, but there's apparently like
I don't know any of them either.
I don't know. There's like a big famous one that like everybody like wants to go to.
I don't have anything like.
I think he worked there. He like interned there. Like he interned actually at a. He told the story on his episode. I'm ruining the whole episode on you basically. Okay. But he actually interns like when he was in right in college or right out of college. He interned. I forget the name of the place, but for a place in Nashville, like an actual like a legit like recording studio. Like he actually worked.
Oh, wow.
Worked there. Slept on the couch in the studio. Yeah. Literally.
Just
literally.
Have his dream, you know?
Yeah. So he kind of got started there, then went out to LA.
Right.
But yeah, man, that's I got to introduce you to him. This is how it works, man, because like
networking.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's the best thing ever.
Yep. Yeah, like Kurt, we met through Kurt and now you're going to meet Dave Yeager and another guy too. I think he just moved to I'm pretty sure he just moved to Nashville. Let me look it up so I don't butcher it. His name's Kulick, by the way. Kulick. He was actually just recently on the show here. It was episode 158, so it literally was just in the last few months. His name's Kulick, and he's from I want to say Mount Carmel area ish, like so he's like local ish,
right? Local-ish.
But yeah, so I met him just through. I think he might have saw somebody on the show that like he knew or something, so he just like we started following each other on social media, and we just was like, oh hey, like, you want to do the podcast? He's like, yeah, sure, man. So he came on, and he literally right after he recorded his episode. By the time like his episode came out, he actually was already moving to Nashville, down to Nashville.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So and he has his own recording company, like his own like a recording studio. Like they produce music too for other people, like not just his own.
Right.
So yeah, he does his own. It's called The Pair Entertainment. I'm like shouting everybody out here. It's like, but like now I'm like invested in you now.
Right.
I'm like really invested in you, and yeah. So I'm gonna
appreciate it.
Yeah. So you gotta meet Kulick too.
Definitely.
And I mean he's in Nashville. Like he's literally there. Right now.
He's there.
He's there, and he's actually I think he's finishing up his album. I think he just finished his next album. So he's like I don't know when it's coming out, but I think it's recorded.
It's recorded. Now it's just got to be all
whatever they
bells
do.
and whistles they do to
whatever
it.
They do. Whatever they do after that.
Right.
I follow him on. I've been following him on Instagram, and just watching him like every day. Just been seeing the progress of it, which has been pretty cool for the last like couple months. Right. But yeah, so there's two deep-rooted people right there, man. Yeah.
Damn right.
So but Dave is still local here, by the way.
Right.
Dave is still local, and he actually has a streaming platform called Showcase, a music streaming platform.
Check it out.
Yeah, he's gonna probably want to put you on it, obviously, if you're cool with that. Once you get some music out, want to put some music out. He actually just launched his own music streaming app that features artists.
Yeah.
So yeah, called Showcase. They
cool.
officially. I was in like the beta testing program, like because we met and him and I have known each other for a little bit of time now. When they were in the development stage of the app, he actually like gave me like access to it before it was public, and said, here, try it out and just break it. Like go on there, tell me what you like, what you don't like, and actually try to find problems and break it.
Right.
I never found any problems, but
there you go.
But yeah, so we'll gotta introduce you to this is what happens on this show,
right?
Which is this is what I love so much about this show, and you'll find this after this episode comes out. I feel like I'm bragging now saying all this shit, right? Here I am in my own head about what we were just talking about too, but yeah, after this comes out, like you're gonna meet pretty much like you're gonna become part of like this family. I call it like the OTS fam, the OTS alumni, right?
Right.
And you'll meet previous. You're just gonna start meeting people that have been either on this show. Dude, it's gonna be so weird. You're gonna be out, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, I heard you. I saw you on that show." And then you're just gonna like, people are gonna start doing that,
right?
And then same thing like previous guests, just like this. Like I'm gonna introduce you to those two, but But like, it's crazy how it works,
Right.
Like how this stuff works out. Like,
know.
even if I didn't introduce you to like some people, you will still meet some other people,
Right.
and dude, it's so weird,
Right.
It's so weird, but so cool how this stuff happens.
Well, it's cool what you're doing though too.
Yeah,
Like
thanks.
you're doing this. You're finding the people like guys like me and giving us a way to a platform, to talk to you. And if it wasn't for that, so I mean, you're a big part of that too. So
Yeah.
pat yourself on the back for
Thanks,
that.
man. Yeah, I appreciate it. I really enjoy that aspect.
Right.
Because I don't know. I just feel like maybe at some points in my life, like I was overlooked.
Right.
So like I like to shine the spotlight on people who may feel overlooked or not known or not
Sometimes
heard.
I don't feel as if I'm overlooked. I just think I hide myself very well.
You go into hiding, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The
The anxiety.
the anxiety
takes over, and
that anxiety and depression takes over, and I disappear. But
we got you here.
they got me here.
This is a big step.
A big step for me.
Yeah. So you've never done something like this, right?
Never. This is the first time I've ever done anything.
Are
like this.
people gonna be shocked when they find
absolutely.
out that you're been on the show
Abso-fucking-lutely.
and that you like crushed it, right?
Oh, I hope so.
dude.
I hope
Dude, you said you were nervous. Like, you're not nervous. Look at you. We opened the show like with you were jamming out like
Yeah. Good time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Like this is fun. Coming here, like I was nervous last night. I woke up with anxiety. Like I woke up, I'm like, oh God, how's it gonna go today? I didn't know. But hey, once I'm here, man, and you made it feel comfortable, and it's comfortable, and it's a good time,
Right. I got good air conditioning here, right?
Yeah. When I first got here, I'm sweating my ass off. You probably thought I was gonna have a heart attack in your studio. No, it's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nice and cool. Some water, man.
We got it all here.
Right.
Yeah. We do it right.
So yeah, I was nervous at first, but now you could tell I'm not nervous at all.
Nah. And honestly, I didn't think you seemed nervous even from the start.
Maybe I'm a good hider. Play music, I hide it.
Yeah.
Every time I play a new venue, I still get a little nervous. And those jitters. And that's what's weird about me is if I get too nervous, I can't play.
Really?
I tried out for The Voice. I did in 2000. My mom took me. My mom, my cousins, they took me down. Like my family, my mom's family supports me so good. Like that whole family, her
That's awesome.
brothers, sisters, they all come out and see me. So I love my mom's family, the Kolesars. I love him.
What's their last name?
No, they're maiden. My mom's
Oh.
a Kolesar. Then all her sisters.
Is it Colasar?
Kolesar. Well, she says
Is it with-
Kolesar.
with a
Not
K?
Kolesar. Yeah, it's with a K. But she just says Kolesar.
I say Colasar. I think I know some Colasars.
So they say Kolesar.
Oh, okay. Well,
Might be different.
Maybe.
But her sisters all support me, like very well. They always have. Like they've always believed in me. My family has. I can't say they haven't. And they took me to try out for The Voice down in Philly. Well, I get there, and I've never done anything like this. So they hurdle you all into like this back room. There I'm in with like thousands of people that they knew each other because apparently you like could do this over and over and over again, which I never knew. Like you could keep trying out for The Voice as many times as you want to, and all these people do it like millions of times, so they all know each other. I didn't know a soul. I'm there by myself. They don't let me have my guitar, so there I am shaking, nervous, and this lady goes, "You okay? It's your time to sing." I got up. I didn't know my name. She goes, "What's your name?" I forgot my name. I remember my name's Jimmy, but I don't remember my last name right now. I forgot where I lived. She's like, "Where you live?" And I just pointed. I'm like, "Over there, that way." I didn't know where I was in this building. And then she's like, "What song you sing?" I sang Smokey Robinson's "You Really Got a Hold on Me" because it's the only song I could remember. And the only reason I remembered it is because from Sesame Street with the letter U, and it would be all over him, and he's trying to get away from the U. And I sang it, and my voice was all like the whole time. And I remember when they said, they're like, "Come back next time with less nerves, and you might have a chance to make it." So I didn't make it. And
Wait, did you ever go back?
No, I never went back. It's just I don't know. The nerves got the best of me, and I was like, no, it's just not for me. But so do I hinder myself? Yes. So, but excuse me.
So yeah, so you still even to this day, I always find that like interesting, like too, because like, about any type of performer, it doesn't have to
Right.
just be musician, right? But you do still like get nervous to play.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If that nerves ever went away, it wouldn't be fun anymore. That it is part of being nervous. It's part of it. Like
Part of the process,
right? Because not everybody's going to accept you. You always got to just put yourself out there and hope to God people love what you play or like what you play. And luckily, so far, I have been good luck with that. So, I can't complain.
So
But
the music, the guitar, the music just takes away that anxiety.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And I can't even explain it. And behind that guitar is like a shield. You know what I mean? Like when I put that guitar, even if I had the strap on it, it separates me from things. So, but without it, it's like I lost my shield, and that's when my nerves come in. That's why you'll never see me sing without a guitar. Like, I don't. I don't just sit and sing. I always play guitar and sing. So, yeah, that guitar is like my shield. That's like that's what keeps me from having anxiety, I guess. I don't know what would it be called, but yeah.
Yeah. So when you do play, I've never seen you play live, except for just today, actually. So I did, but not like out like at a venue, right? But when you're doing cover songs, right? Like from what I've seen, you don't have like anything in front of you, right? Like you just play.
Yeah.
Like you don't have an iPad. You don't.
No,
have...
I do have a tablet.
Oh, you do?
I do have a tablet, but the only reason I have a tablet is because of words.
Okay.
It's not. There's no set list. There's no drawn up plan of what I have going in. I go in blind. I always wing it, but I do have words. So just in case, somebody asks for a
lyrics?
song. Yeah, like lyrics.
Oh, okay.
They're lyrics. I just say words, but they're lyrics. I do have lyrics. And again, shout out to Joy, because what she does for me is she goes on the internet, screenshots the internet, like the lyrics, puts them on my tablet. So it's just,
So she's helped loading them.
Yes.
Loading them.
There's like 150 songs, maybe more in here that I just flip through.
Oh, okay.
Just in case I need a reference. Because every once in a while, like playing the same songs over and over, you think you learn the words. I don't. I'll be like, what's the first verse? Oh my God, I don't know.
Freezing
where to start
up.
on.
Yeah. You're having a what was that talent show? The Voice. You're having a voice moment.
Right here. Like what's the first verse? So they're good to have.
Shit, I forgot my name again.
So it's good to have for like a reference to look down. Okay, that's the first verse. But yeah, I do have an iPad. So, but other than that, it's just me. It's me and my guitar. And there's no pedal. I don't go through pedals. I just go through a board, and that's it. So.
Me and My Guitar. That's the name of a song. That's it just reminded me. I just have to tell you. I don't know why. A Boogie with the Hoodie.
Boogie with the Hoodie. Yeah,
I know he is. You know that cat?
Yeah, I do.
Do you like his music?
Yeah.
It is a him, right?
Yeah. Hey, Boogie.
I feel like I shouldn't have.
I know a song by him, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. I used to DJ too, so I do know a lot of this.
Yeah, he has a song called "Me and My Guitar."
I'll have to listen to it.
You should listen to it, because like when you said that, I'm like. When you said "Me and My Guitar," I'm like that's.
Yeah, the guitar is me. I mean,
I forget what the lyrics. I forget what the lyrics are, but I feel like I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's going to be something relatable to you.
Right.
If you listen,
I'll check it out. It's probably be something relatable, because
I love the song.
This guitar, I have names for my guitars and everything.
And actually, it's actually the lyrics popped up, and I'm sorry for cutting you off there, but
you're good.
But yeah, it's I'm not going to tell you the lyrics, because you're just going to have to
check it out.
Go check it out, because yeah, the first opening line, you're gonna have the chills.
Right.
Yeah. So
check it out.
Check it out. Me and My Guitar by A Boogie with the Hoodie.
Right, because he's right. I mean, that's my shield, man. I named them. Like this one I have here with me today. This is Cherry, and I have Betty.
Okay.
And Betty is a big F phone. She's a jumbo. And I brought her up because I want to tell a story about her. Because I thought when I first started going solo 2 years ago, I needed a Taylor guitar. For some reason, I was obsessed with this thought. I got it. I hated it. I hated how it sounded. I hated everything about this guitar. So 6 months later, because I traded Betty in to get this Taylor. 6 months later, I go back, and she's still at the music store. Or it was a couple months more than 6, but either way, she was still there. Nobody bought her. She's a beautiful guitar. I don't know how nobody did. And I brought her back in, and then she's been my mainstay ever since. She's the black guitar. If you ever see me play in all those pictures, I love that guitar. And her name's Betty. Like I name these things. These things are like part of me.
Yeah.
So that's how close these guitars mean to me, and then you get that one guitar that just sounds so good, and that's how she was. But I had this attitude that I needed a Taylor guitar. Why at the time? I don't know. 3 years ago, was I intrigued by Taylor guitars? I don't know, but I didn't like it. So, and then I got Betty back, and that's the funny story, is because I went to the music store, and there she was hanging on the wall. I'm like, she waited.
That's so crazy.
So, and I play her to this day. She's my, what is it? My, I can't remember the word. My OG.
She's an OG.
There's a word I'm looking for, but right now it's just not coming to me. Of course.
We'll go with OG for you.
We'll go with OG. She's just like the best.
Yeah.
But it's just funny, how, like I said again, I'm a weird duck. I'm an odd duck. I name my guitarists. They have feelings. And they're people. I don't think that, but
yeah.
They come part of you.
Yeah. I love. You're different, right? You consider yourself different.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I like that.
yeah.
And that's why I really like that about you, you know, and just
You gotta embrace it, you know?
yeah, people in general, man. Like it's you know, I feel like if you don't embrace it, you're just gonna like live behind like a facade, right? And it's like,
Right. Be
you know,
yourself.
yeah. And I think for the longest time, like even me growing up as a kid, it was always like I always wanted to fit in,
Right.
And I felt like it took me maybe up until maybe not too long ago, to be completely honest, if I'm being honest with you right now. But like I always felt like, well, let me just say this first: I was never meant to fit in. Right. And I see that in you. I see the same thing in you. Right. You know, just everything from your appearance to your personality to your music. I mean, everything. Right. Like you're meant to stand out, and that's what's so unique about you. And like I guess like you know I can very much so relate to you, because I feel like for most of my life too, I felt like I was that like kid who couldn't fit in with, you know, not that I didn't have friends, you know, I had a few friends, but like I was never like, you know, in the cool crowd, you know. I always say like I was friends with everybody, but friends with like nobody, because like I'd be friends with, didn't matter what anyone looked like, sports, not sports, like everything. Like I was like I'll say I was like kind of like neutral almost, like with everybody.
Yeah, everybody knew you.
Right? Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
You didn't have those close friends, you know.
Yeah, like I had a couple. I had a few, right? But other than that, like I wasn't like, you know, the kid sitting at the lunch table with you know the table full of 15 kids.
Right.
It was me and like 3 or 4 of my, I'll say like closest friends. Right. And then a couple of randos that like they had nowhere else to sit.
Right. They didn't care if they sat.
Right. So like they had nowhere else to sit. So like I don't even know who the randos were, right? But there was definitely some randos like at my lunch table.
Right.
And forgive me if any of them are listening and I don't remember who they are. If you are, send me a DM or something. Let me know.
You apologize.
Yeah, sorry. You can come sit at this table, yeah, if you want to.
Randos, welcome.
Randos, yeah. Well, we welcome the randos,
Right.
you know, and the rejects and everybody else. But yeah, so like I was like that kid,
right?
You know, like, and I was like I felt like for, you know, definitely all throughout high school, and then maybe not as much. You know, I went away to college. Then, you know, after college, I'm back home here, and it's like still even then, like even till like, you know, even several years ago, it was like I never really had like I feel like all my high school friends, like still a lot of them still hang out with each other, and like all still like they all still have like the same 15 friends, like. I don't really have many friends left, like from high school. But then, like I said, I was never like, I wasn't that person that hung out with all 15 people all the time. Like I was not that guy. Right. You know, like there's like those people that like have that.
I was
that
the same way you had. Like maybe you had 1 or 2 friends, but I wasn't with all that group the whole time.
Yeah, so. Right. And still with it. You know what I mean? Like you may still have like a couple or 1 or 2 or 3 or something, right? But like, you know, I still, and you know, no, this is no shade against anyone or you know, some of them, maybe a little bit of shade, but not too much. But you know, like it's like those group of people, like they're all still like that same lunch table from high school. It's like, yeah.
You supersede that now, though.
Yeah, so. And actually, and it's funny because like I literally like wasn't allowed to sit at like the one table.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like that's actually like why, like, you know what I mean? Like it was like, and there was times I think I actually got like shoved off. I'm sure I believe you know, I've done some of my own shoving in high school. Right. You know,
we all have.
But yeah, like it was like there was no room for me at that table. Like you know, I was like, oh, okay. Right. So just made my own. And that's what I said about this thing too. Right. You know, like literally like this is like, I think I said this actually maybe I was a guest on another podcast, I think is maybe where I first said this, but it was like, I made my own cool kids table because at some point in my life, I wasn't allowed to sit at the cool kids table. Right. So I made my own. And I brought cool people like you in.
Right. Damn right.
That's it.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Right? Isn't it weird?
At their table, so I made my own.
That's right.
So
I made my own. I built my own.
Right.
Literally. I mean, somebody actually helped me. It really wasn't that complicated, but you know, this is Butcher Block table. Shout out to Charlie Consagra for helping me make this way back in the day. And it was like episode 3. I've had this almost since the very beginning. Maybe episode 2. Yeah. But yeah, so here we are. Built my own 3 years ago.
Damn good, man.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
Well, dude, this has been amazing.
Right.
Dude, you're like a podcast guest pro now.
I hope so.
You are.
But I'll never forget my first, though. What did you say? You popped my cherry.
I did. Hell yeah.
All right, brother.
No, man, this is cool.
This was.
This is
really good time.
it's a really unique thing, man. Like I really mean that when I say that, you know.
Right.
Like, you know, just like I said, I can't stop looking at the word believe on your forehead. Not because that you have a tattoo on your face, but it's like a genuine connection.
Right. It's a genuine. There's a reason for it. You know.
Yeah.
It's not just. You know. It's not. gang affiliated or anything stupid like that. It's like there's a reason for it.
Yeah, which is
And it's
like
me, like people don't like it, you don't like it, but hey, I do.
I love it.
So it's all that matters.
I love it, bro. Yeah.
But when we get to do cool things like this, it's a great time. I mean, I never done anything like this before, and people get to know me now, more than just a face.
Yeah,
Where's that guy
people
playing
get to
guitar?
people get to learn about Jimmy Stranger a bit.
Just a little bit better than they did,
Yeah. Well, I'm grateful you gave me the opportunity to have you on and tell some of the stories that you told. I mean, you've been through a lot of shit, man, and that's very difficult probably for you to still talk about.
There's light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? I guess for all of us, and hopefully this is mine.
Yeah. So, all right, how can our listeners connect with you online?
Your listeners connect me online on Facebook. I have Jimmy Stranger Music on Facebook, and that's what it's called. And you just like the page or follow the page, and you go on there, and all my shows are on there. On the top, they're like posted. You just click the button, and it'll tell you where I'm at from this month on down to December. And that's pretty much it. I don't have a TikTok or an Instagram. I just use Facebook for that, and then all my info's on there. You message the page if you want a bar or want to have a party or something. And I run everything through Facebook. It seems to work for me right now. So
good.
Anything changes, I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, we got to get you on YouTube. Well, you're going to be on YouTube with this.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're going to
get a channel going.
Yeah, we got to get you. And so do you plan to? You want to put together some content to be able to just have some your music out there on YouTube or?
Now's my time. If any time in my life was my time, it's now. And that just goes back to the Jelly Roll references, because he's doing exactly what I do. And his songs are almost like mine. And what he does is his songs heal people. They help people. And so do mine. And they're relatable, just like his. So I'm always going to be intertwined with that man, I think. But, hey, there's been worse. Yeah.
Well, dude, I wish you the best. And, this isn't going to be the last time that we're talking.
Right.
I know that. But
definitely not.
But, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you play some time, for real in person. Maybe at Kurt's house. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm actually doing a party this month. I think it's this month.
Is
next
it?
month, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully you're there.
All right. Well, either way, I'll find you somewhere. I mean, there's no way I can't not find you.
Yeah, I cannot find me. I'm
can't,
always somewhere.
Can't not find you. Yeah.
All I gotta do is if you look at my page, like I said, I'm a man of everywhere. I play from here to Tunkhannock to Benton to anywhere. I've been everywhere in this valley now. So
what's that song? I've been everywhere, man.
By Johnny Cash.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been everywhere, man.
Yeah, when you said that, that's literally what I thought of.
Yep.
Damn.
That's him. It's Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash voice.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
So yeah.
All right. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate it again, and again, there's gonna be more to this here. I'm gonna introduce you to a couple of those people, and I want to see you put some some of your original stuff together and get it out there for the world to see, man.
Lots gonna happen. Just gotta make it happen.
Let's do it. All right, Jimmy Stranger on the Stacks podcast in the Blue Door Studio. Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome, man.
If you want to see more On The Stacks content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/onthestackspodcast or search the hashtag OnTheStacks on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.